Relatively free of controversy, Intelligent Systems has paved the way for an extremely exciting wait till July 26th. Now, I knock on wood and cross my fingers. Please don't let this video age poorly, IS. Please.
For Best Strategy Game, focused on real-time or turn-based strategy, those nominees are Fire Emblem, Three Houses. And the Game Award in that category goes to Fire Emblem, Three Houses. This year, we also added a fan category over the past few days called Player's Voice. And a lot of you around the world voted tournament style to pick your favorite game. This was 100% in control of the fans. And the winner of the fan vote is Fire Emblem, Three Houses. Congratulations.
This is the biggest year Fire Emblem has ever had, and I am all for it. I wanted to make this video pretty quickly just in light of the Game Awards and Fire Emblem winning Three Houses winning 2 awards there. And also kind of just like a look back at that marketing video that I made like 5 months ago. And just kind of see how things have gone since then and just kind of reflect, because it's a good time to be a Fire Emblem fan right now. And I just kind of want to give a quick video just sort of about the Game Awards, that kind of thing. Three Houses' whole path to success has been unreal by any standard. In that video about marketing, the main point I wanted to get across was that Three Houses was paving the way for an incredibly successful launch, free of bad press relative to Fire Emblem standards compared to its predecessors. So fun fact, I usually forget about what I talked about like a month after I upload a video, whether it's a scripted video or like a sports science or like a tea time or whatever. I actually just straight up forget what I talked about. One of the main points that I had in that video was that I didn't want to get overhyped, and I hoped that that video would age well. And it did, which is great. And yeah, and obviously it's good, and obviously it did, because like Three Houses is amazing and it just won a couple of awards at the Game Awards. Even more than that, not only is Three Houses a massive commercial success, as September 30th, 2019, the game has sold 2.29 million copies, and no doubt it's gone way higher since then. But sales obviously doesn't tell the whole story here. There's so many other games even nominated in the same category that sold more units than Three Houses. So what's happening here? Take this with a grain of salt, but this video is just coming from a fan of the franchise and Three Houses. I'm not some analytics guy who has secret numbers and statistics. I'm just a fan. I've been such a huge fan to the point where like I'm in the Fire Emblem modding community, and I like to kind of make my own twists of things on like Fire Emblem 7 and Three Houses. And I think one of the biggest reasons for its ongoing success has to do with the crazy amount of fan support of the series and Three Houses on these last few months, like the last 4 or 5 months since the game's been out. From these characters that we relate to and talk about and share art about on forums and YouTube and Twitter, I think a big reason of why it's being recognized like it is that it's not just the fans, but people who are part of the game's production are deeply invested in this too. Folks like Joe Zija and Chris Hackney and Christian Lamont and Allegra Clark, among numerous other English voice actors for the game whose careers as voiceover artists has taken off, as Three Houses has been their first major IP to be a part of in the video game industry. They embrace this game and its community in a way that I'm sure people just straight up didn't expect. All games have this relevancy shelf life, you know, like the hype cycle comes and goes for a lot of games in general, but such engagement from the community has let this game and our identity as a fan base really grow in a positive direction. Fire Emblem, I find, has always kind of struggled to find its way into the mainstream. Like obviously it has, but as far as being like wholly accepted, I feel like this is really the first time it's happened. In my opinion, it might be a combination of bizarre controversies from its past, or the inaccessibility and lack of understanding of its gameplay despite its best efforts to open up to newer audiences. But I just feel like this is really the first time we can really truly say it's really broke into the mainstream. Like it's not like Fire Emblem is a new IP coming out of nowhere, right? Three Houses is the 16th game in the series. Athos used to play FE1 with Nurgle back in Arcadia. It's an old series. Myself and so many other fans and newer fans have been diehard for a long time. Since we were kids, teenagers, since Awakening and Blazing Sword and Thracia, downloading patch translations and stuff. We always knew we weren't on the same kind of like relevancy level as Mario and Legend of Zelda or Call of Duty, you know? But like we've always been here. And we completely decimated any other nominations for Player's Choice Game of the Year. I mean, personally, I think it also should have been nominated for Best Direction and Performance and Soundtrack, and of course, Game of the Year. I mean, come on, like, look at these A+'s, Teach. 89% on Metacritic, 5 out of 5 on Games Radar, and 9.5 out of 10 on IGN. Like, these are big-ass numbers. You know, these are S's. These are perfect scores. For some, it might be kind of silly that we're pushing so hard for a specific game, or we're so emotionally attached to a game that really, obviously, like, doesn't really share the same feelings back to us. But we had the chance to show the gaming industry as a whole that Three Houses and Fire Emblem is a fantastic series and deserves more recognition. And personally, because we're so familiar with this IP and the good people involved in it, it feels like everyone won here. And it's not like the competition was easy. Fallen Order and Death Stranding and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like, the first two are pretty recent, and the last one keeps getting updated with DLC, so it's always relevant. And guess what? Like, Three Houses beat the recency bias. Like, despite the ridiculous popularity of all those 3 other games that are super fresh, like, we have that fan backing that is just like, we want our voices to be heard, and we want people to, like, start respecting and start treating Fire Emblem like the really successful and good franchise that it is. I just spat everywhere. I hope you guys didn't see that. As someone who has been so hungry for people to acknowledge and appreciate this series and its roots to get closer and closer to the esteemed major IP relevancy, I suppose it's great. We won the Game Awards. To end things off, like, kind of as a personal sign off, Fire Emblem, for me personally, I keep saying for me personally, but it's true. Like this is a very, like, this game has been very important to kind of my development as a person and my direction as a content creator on YouTube. I started making Fire Emblem like hacking videos when I was a 20-something-year-old guy in university, just kind of stumbling upon this bizarre community and getting my own feet in the door, that kind of thing. We all, like, everyone has these outlets for creativity or mechanisms in which we can, like, cope with our problems. And for some people it's gaming, and for some people it's other forms of art. But for me, like, Fire Emblem has always been there. Like, Fire Emblem has always been there for me. To see this game really develop and evolve and get the fan backing that it has and have so much participation with every side of the community has really been great to see. To everyone who voted, that's awesome. We got to keep pushing for Fire Emblem, and we got to keep it going. Got to keep this train going. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good weekend coming up, and take care. Deuces.